But welcome everyone so far. Good afternoon or good evening, I should say. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to be speaking with the Honorable Arlene Mclaren. She is, thank you for joining us. She is the author of the best-selling book, How to Overcome Fear, Getting Unstuck, and Live Your Best Life. And who does not want to do that? Especially after COVID-19. You may see the link somewhere somewhere along here, you will see the link. Be sure to click the link and get the book. But we have some juicy nuggets to go over in this maybe 25 to 30 minutes that we have, where we are going to dig deep into how to get unstuck, overcome fear, and live our best life. Now we know, this all can't happen in one night, but I just want to try at least. We're going to bite off as much as we can. My name is Angela Gibson, and I am the founder of the Eve Speaks platform, where we believe in giving birth to the possibility, the promise, and the potential that is embedded in each and every one of us. And I know the thugs in our minds will have us believe otherwise, but Arlene's book is to help us to come to the conclusion that you too can get unstuck, overcome fear, and live your best life. Once again, thank you for joining us, Arlene. And can you hear us, Arlene?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful, beautiful. I just want to take a moment to see if I can get to see the folks that are joining us online. Right now, I can't see anyone, and I don't know. I want to feel like I'm a part of the community. Is that okay? So bear with me for a second.
Well, while you're doing that, I just want to say thank you, Angela. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share my book with your tribe and your people. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I thank you. And I hope that they will be as enriched by it as you were, since you shared on the television show a couple of weeks ago that you were enriched by the book. So that's our goal, that people will be touched, moved, and inspired to, seize their goals and move forward in their lives using these 10 secrets. And even though we're not going to talk about all 10 today, I hope that they will at least gain some insight and further motivation in terms of moving forward with their goals and dreams. So thank you so
guys,
much.
Did you pick up, you're welcome. Did you pick up what she just said? That I was on her TV show. You see the caliber of woman that we're dealing with today? I was on her TV show. She's also the producer of the Ask Arlene Show. You get to ask questions and she answers them. When is it aired, Arlene? When is that aired?
It airs every Thursday at 6:30. And then subsequent to that, we post the programs on YouTube at askarleneshow.com. But it's on TV every Thursday at 6:30. So sometimes we have really excellent guests like yourself.
Oh,
and so yes, I'm as big a fan of yours as you have shared.
Thank you, my dear. So I can see you now online. I still don't see the other folks, but let's jump into it. And let's talk about the first thing that you think that people should know. You seem frozen, Arlene. You're frozen into a nice, beautiful smile, but okay, let me just get into it then. One of the first things that your book talks about is to clarify what we want. If we're going to live our best lives, overcome fear, get unstuck, then we have to be clear about what we want. Yeah, that sounds about right?
That's definitely step number one.
Absolutely. So tell me about that, Arlene. What is it that you want the reader to have? How do you want them to process that, this idea of getting clear? Because it sounds simple enough, but I know there's more that goes into the process of getting clear.
Okay, so I just want to tell you briefly my story. So several years ago, I was president of a chamber of commerce. And so I had been recruited out of 300 people to head up this chamber of commerce. And I was called on by the news media. So I was in the papers and I was in the magazines. And whenever something happened in the business community, they called on me. But shortly thereafter, there was a new board of directors. And I know you've heard Black Lives Matter. Well, this Black
Yes.
Lives didn't matter to them. So they wanted their own board of directors chairperson, or their own head of the chamber, I should say. And so
Mhm.
that board of directors fired me.
You were
But it
fired.
wasn't just that yeah, I got fired. But it wasn't just that they fired me. They
Mhm.
publicly fired me. They put my
Wow.
face on the cover of the newspaper, and across my face they said fired.
Woo!
So
That must have
everything,
stung.
yeah, yeah. Not only did it sting, Angela, but
Mm.
I was stuck. I didn't know
Yeah.
what to do.
Mhm.
And people said, "Well, did you steal money? Did you?" I said, "No, I didn't do any of those things." They just said it was not a fit. Basically, they wanted their own person.
Mm.
So then, shortly thereafter, um, well, actually, that same morning, I had to do a talk for the Rotary Club, and I
Mhm.
couldn't get up out of bed. I was just stuck,
Wow.
and yeah, I couldn't go. And then shortly thereafter, my mom passed away. And then
Mm.
I was really stuck.
Really stuck.
My grandmother was 106 when she passed away, and everybody in my family lives long.
Ah.
My mom had never been in the hospital my entire life that I had known her. And all of a sudden, she came down with this incurable disease, and I had to watch her as she went. So,
Wow.
guys, it took me 3 years where I just was stuck. And I was looking for answers as to how to get out. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn. And that's where the first secret came about, which is clarity.
Mhm.
Because I knew I didn't want to go back to that job, and I knew I didn't want to go back to politics, but I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
And I had heard somewhere that in terms of being clear, you should, wait on the Lord or listen for the voice. Or I don't know if I was waiting for, a voice from the sky or what, but I didn't get it. Took
Mhm.
me 3 years. And finally, I was able to gain clarity and get up.
Wow.
And you know what was that first premise?
Tell us. Tell us, please. Tell us.
The first step was in step one was to decide.
Mm.
Decide what it was that I wanted to do next. Be
Right.
clear, delineate it, even though maybe I didn't hear the voice from the sky, or, nothing huge happened. I just had to decide and be clear of what it was that I was going to do next and
Right.
begin doing. And
Right.
I always use the example of an airplane. I say if an airplane is going from New York to LA,
Mhm.
California, which is where I am now, a lot of times it's off course, but it has
Right.
a plan. It has
Right.
a plan, a flight
Right.
plan. And so we need a flight plan,
Right.
decide where we can go, be clear.
Right. I remember that in the book. The plane doesn't just hang out in the sky and wonder what's going to do next. Wow, that's a powerful beginning. I just want to say to the people who are joining us, I see here we have Bisola, Genevieve, Mary Beth, Patricia. If you have any questions, please jump in. Tell us what you may have learned from the book, how it helps you, what nugget you took from this idea of how to get unstuck, overcome fear, and live your best life. Certainly, it's a journey. Would you agree, Arlene?
Oh,
That's what I got, Argerter. It's a journey. Nobody just reads a book and gets up and will be there. It's definitely a journey. So you're saying that the clarity was so important that you had to decide what is it. You had to decide.
yes. And that's why people get stuck, because
Mhm.
we're not sure of
Right.
exactly what to do. So we do nothing. We're waiting. And somewhere along the journey, I had heard too, we're supposed to wait and be still and be silent and listen. And what I learned is we have to move. We have to move and decide and go forward. And I also like the analogy of the GPS. The
Mhm.
GPS talks to you as you're moving. So if you just stay in the car in the driveway, it says nothing. But as we begin to move, the GPS will say, here, turn right, turn left. So we decide what we want to do, we decide where we want to go. And even though we don't know all the pieces of the puzzle as to how to get there, it will become clearer and clearer as we have decided where exactly we want to go.
So part of getting clarity is not just to sit and wait, it's to start moving. And if you're on the wrong path, because you're moving, you will course correct. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. But step number one is to decide where you want to go.
Right. Decide where you want to go.
Stop waiting. Stop waiting. I give you permission. For anybody who's on here and they're waiting for permission, I give you permission. Move forward with that thing that you think. Another way of deciding is, I understand that you may not know. That's why you're stuck, because you're not sure. But if you did know, what would you do? And then move forward in that.
If you did know, I like that. If you did know, what would you do? I think somebody has their hands raised, but I'm kind of new to this thing, so I can't really tell.
If you
Somebody
did know.
else had their hand raised. Just go ahead and type your question in the chat and I'll read it aloud for those of you who are raising your hands. I can't.
There's things that we have in our hearts and in our minds that we've always wanted to do. We do know. But because of these limiting beliefs, maybe somebody told you some time ago, well, you can't sing, or you can't dance, or you're not good at that, or you wouldn't be good at having a business. All of these limiting beliefs are what are holding us back and causing us to not move forward in our true goal and in our true dream, which is why we have to just get up and decide. If we did know, what would that be?
I like that. I like that.
All come to this earth for a reason and for a purpose and for a plan. They say there were 6 billion sperm that had to compete in order for you to be here. And so you have a purpose. And some people say, oh, well, it's not a big purpose. My purpose is not big. Everybody's purpose is significant. Everyone's purpose is significant. There's a gentleman, his name is Bob Proctor, and he became a millionaire. As a matter of fact, a multimillionaire. And you know how he did it, Angela?
Tell me.
Bob Proctor started out cleaning floors. He started cleaning office buildings. But what he did was he loved what he did and he kept expanding. He eventually went to office buildings and said, you know, I'll do a contract with you to do your cleaning, provide cleaning. And then he added on other office buildings. And then he hired staff to clean the office buildings and he made millions.
Wow, because he had clarity.
Right.
He decided.
And then he was able to use that insight to help and touch millions and millions of people up until he died recently. You know, he's world renowned. And what was he doing? He turned something that he was good at into something really huge. So you're here for a purpose and for a plan. And I can't be on this without saying 9 times out of 10, it's something that you've always wanted to do from the beginning. Okay, when you were 7 years old and you sat down and somebody said, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's the thing.
Well, Shanella wants to know, what if you know what you want to do, but the resources are limited? What do you do?
You said, what if you want to, if you know
what you want? What if you know what you want to do? Because, you know, we're saying you first you have to have clarity, and you know what, and she's saying that I do have clarity about what I want to do, but my resources just don't permit me to do that.
Okay, so the next secret, and there are a whole bunch of secrets. This is just step number 1. Step number 1 is being clear about what it is that you want to do. So there are going to be other steps that we need in this puzzle in order to manifest the thing that we truly want. But just to move on to the second one is visualization.
Hold on. We have another question first. We have another question. Genevieve wants to know. So Shanella, we're not dropping you. We're just saying, hang on for future weeks, you know, when we're going to talk about all the secrets. We can't get all the secrets tonight, okay? But hold on to the clarity that you have, that you want to know. The fact is, you need to acknowledge the fact that you do know what you want. That's a big, you got to celebrate that, because it's a big step, right?
And there's a word called decide. The word decide comes from the root word kaidir, which means to cut. So you cut off all other options. Once you decide and you cut off all other options, other pieces of the puzzle begin to come to play. The reason why the pieces of the puzzle, the resources, the people, all that stuff have not come in, because you haven't decided and you haven't stated with clarity and definitiveness, cutting off all of the options, what exactly it is that you're going to do. So that's step one.
Okay.
Kaidir.
And Genevieve is making a comment. She says, a very wonderful thing I found in the first chapter is that it gives you peace with this statement. There is no bad decision. You know, I had an issue with that statement. I got to be honest, because I'm like, I've made some bad decisions. I really have. And I'm like, sometimes I think, man, I wish I'd done that differently. I'd done this, I should have done her. You know, and if you're not careful, it could just suck the life out of you. But you're saying there's no bad decisions? I don't know if I completely agree with that, but tell us what you mean by that.
All of the decisions that you have made have culminated and brought you to where you are now. Had you not gone through that challenge, you may not have a heart for the people that you have now. You may not be able to explain to people insightfully what they need to do to move forward had you not gone through the struggle. If you had never gone through anything and you just popped out the womb perfectly and life was perfect, how could you ever reach people? How could you touch, move, or inspire anybody with your story? You would have a testimony without any test.
Okay, I get that, because I know I struggle with anxiety, and even though for the longest time it took me so long to be able to say, it's a good thing I went through the struggle with debilitating anxiety. Now that I'm on the other side and I'm able to communicate that, yeah, in spite of the anxiety that had me stuck in bed, failing out of school, getting massively depressed, suicidal, the fact that I was able to walk that journey and start a business, have a family, help other people become Christians is just amazing. So I understand that.
Did you overcome it?
Did I overcome anxiety?
Yes. Were you able to get up and move forward? Did you overcome it?
Yeah, I got up and moved forward anyway. I
Can
did.
you now tell other people how they can overcome it and get up and move forward too?
Yes, I can, which is why I started the eSpeaks platform.
Are you an example to people who are struggling now of what they could possibly do?
Yes, my master. Yes, master. Yes.
Amazing woman. Amazing woman.
But sometimes even the coach needs coaching, because when I get into that, I have to get my coaching people to help me to say, Angela, but remember. Yeah, so it's true. It absolutely is. So Genevieve feels encouraged that it encourages her to make a decision, to take action. Thank you for your comments, Genevieve. So we have 10 minutes left and we've only talked about clarity. So the second secret, right?
Secret, yeah.
Is visualization and affirmation. Tell us how that will help us to overcome fear, get unstuck, and live our best life. Tell us how that works.
Okay, so Nella asked a question, and it's right in line with this. I'm so glad you asked the question. She said, well, how are you supposed to put all the pieces of the puzzle together? Now that you've decided that you're supposed to do this amazing thing, how do you do it? Where are you supposed to get the resources? Where are you supposed to find the people? Well, take a breath. Relax. And the second secret is to visualize. Visualize yourself in that position. So with Angela, she said it was debilitating anxiety. At that point, while she was going through the anxiety, it was hard for her to see herself at this point, where now she has the business, she's on lives, bringing the people in, bringing in authors so that they can share how to get unstuck. But she had to visualize that or see it in order to begin working toward it. So for me, when I was stuck for 3 years, Nella, 3 years, I did nothing. I took care of my kids, but I didn't go to work. I didn't go to parties or functions. I just sat. I didn't watch television. I didn't listen to music, because somewhere in the journey, I had heard that I'm supposed to be silent in order to hear the directive. So I'm sharing with you what did work and what did not work. I had to see myself where I am now. Some people call it prayer, some people call it meditation. I'm calling it visualization, but this is what you do. You literally, I'm making it simple. You literally close your eyes and picture yourself at the end of the journey. Okay, so you're already there. And I wish you would type and tell me what it is that you want to achieve. But let's say you want to be a business owner yourself, because I don't see what it is. And maybe if Angela sees, she's going to tell me. You need to see yourself already there. And as you begin to see yourself there, daily visualizing yourself there, you begin to create a picture. Well, if I'm there, where am I? Am I in America? Am I in the island of Jamaica? Who's around me? Who's helping me in this journey? Who are the,
Am I
where are
wearing?
the resources coming from? What's the color? What kind of day is it? Is it
Mm,
cold? Is it hot? How's my hair? What clothing am I wearing?
yes,
You
yes,
begin to paint the picture
yeah,
daily. And as you
I love it.
visualize the picture, you begin to get excited and you begin to believe it. Guys, whatever it is,
And she says
if
it.
you
She says owning her business, that's what it is. She wants to own
okay,
her own
okay.
business.
But this is the secret. Everybody talks about visualization, and a lot of people leave out a key piece, which is why it doesn't work. And I'm going to give you the key secret, Nella. The secret is to visualize the bumps and the bruises. So if the bump for you, or the challenge for you, or the hurdle for you, or the limiting belief for you is that, I'm not going to get the resources to have this business, then what you need to do is visualize yourself. How are you going to, that piece, the challenge, the hurdle, how are you going to put this business together if at this juncture you don't have the resources? What would you do? Who would you talk to? Where would you go? Are
Mm,
you in contact with several people that you know that also have businesses? Could you partner with them? Could you move forward in a way that does not require, maybe you think you need 300,000 to start this business and you find that that's not what you need. But the idea is to see that hard part, visualize it, and visualize you doing whatever you need to do in order to accomplish that and get over that hurdle. Feel yourself going through the challenge and accomplishing it. Okay. So it's not just the beginning to the end, it's the journey. What are the bumps and bruises? Visualize yourself going through those bumps and bruises and accomplishing them. Okay. So that when you actually do get to that stage, you've already been there, you've already accomplished it. So
mm.
your attitude, your mindset, your feelings, and your emotions as you're going through it are, I know I can. Yes, I can, because I
And
already did it in my mind's eye.
that's a very key part, the engagement of the emotion in this visualization. Because if
Yeah.
the emotions are not engaged, I've learned, I've experienced, then it doesn't work. You have to really believe it. It can't just be some flighty words that you're saying. I believe that that this is going to happen. I'm going to publish my first book, which I did, because after many years of delaying it and just saying it, I actually started to believe it with emotion and saying it aloud in front of the mirror, visualizing it. Manifestation. It
And
happened.
visualize the people who are going to support you in that as well.
I
Okay.
love that.
Because there is a way and there is a route, and I guarantee you it's not as hard as you think it's going to be. But there are other steps that you're going to go through in order to help you to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So,
But listen to
first,
Arlene, because she was stuck for 3 years. And look at her, look at her, look at her, everybody. Pay attention, pay attention. You see that? She's on YouTube. She has her Ask Arlene show. She got a book out. I mean, and she's on here encouraging us.
I'm a
She's
life coach now, helping other people to get unstuck and put their dreams and goals together and overcome their fears. Because I was afraid. I was afraid of picking the wrong thing. That's why I wouldn't pick.
So we have 5 more minutes. The third thing is, tell us, Arlene. It's
The third one is momentum.
right.
So a lot of times what happens is we plan and we plot and we scheme and we talk and we coalesce with other people, and we're doing all of these things, everything other than moving forward. Okay. And getting up and doing it. So just to tell you my quick story. So initially, my mom was a nurse, and she always wanted me to not necessarily do politics because it was a kind of a dirty business. She wanted me to be a teacher or maybe, a nurse like her. So I decided to teach. That was my Kaidir moment. I decided I was going to get up and teach, use all of my degrees that I had, forget about the politics and all that other stuff. So I taught. While I was in the classroom talking to high school kids in the inner city, one of the kids said to me, Miss, are you a motivational speaker? You're always talking to us about how we can do better and move forward. Whereas I was supposed to be talking to them about the Roman Empire and the Olmecs and the history, because I was a history teacher. So even though I had decided this was it, I moved forward. I wasn't sure. I just had to decide and I moved. But while I was in the journey, while I was in it, I began to see how I really needed to move. Okay. That's the GPS talking to me and telling me, up, turn right here, up, turn left here. So the GPS said, okay, maybe you don't want to talk to the kids about this stuff since you're supposed to be teaching history. You want to talk to adults about how they can overcome their fears and get unstuck, okay? And then
Right.
the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. So the third thing is move.
Mm,
Move, get up and move in that direction. So what does that look like? Well, it depends on what your particular area is, and I'd love for you to talk to me so that I can help you to formulate that. But the next secret is not write it down. So a lot of people say, make a plan, write it down. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the third thing that I want you to do after you decide is to move. So you never get up from the decision making process without making a motion in the direction of the decision. Okay? Because that solidifies it.
mm.
It may be picking up the phone and asking someone who you know that's in it. Listen, I'm starting this business. Would you be willing to help me? What do you know about this business? Begin by getting on the computer and saying, okay, how do I start a website? How do I do a Facebook post about this? There are multiplicity of things that we can do, even preliminarily, that we may not realize that are free.
Mm. Powerful, powerful stuff. And something that's really stayed with me with this whole idea of momentum, which is a third secret, is
That's
that
Angela's favorite.
my favorite, the momentum. Because if you're not moving, ain't nothing happening.
No, no.
It's this idea that you should not be shooting on yourself. Shooting.
Yes,
You
yes.
must do, not should do. Oh, that, you must act, do something, must. The
Direction.
minimum must each day, whatever that is. The minimum must. Don't go to bed until you do the minimum must. And then the part B of that is to love what you do. For me, I love selling. So while I was working for other people, because I love selling, the transition to work for myself was not as hard because I already loved what I was doing. And then the third piece of the momentum component is to just do it, like Arlene has been saying. And the momentum is your friend. If everything else is falling down, if you have momentum, you're in a good place.
And once you begin to move, you'll see what you need. So a lot
Right.
of times you think you need all of these big things, but as you begin to move, you're like, oh, I need this, I need that. And so as opposed to sitting over there and saying, this is what I think I'm going to need, as you begin to move, you realize and visualize exactly what you need. And that makes your visualization even more clear because you can see the bumps and bruises. So Angela just said she loves sales. But for you as a business person, sales may be the thing that you don't like. So in your visualization process, you're going to visualize yourself selling. That's what you're going to visualize. And you're going to find the emotions that will help to propel you to actually do that. Visualize yourself doing it over and over and over again till you can do it physically without, being sick to your stomach. Or if it's getting the money, you're visualizing, hand over fist. The funds are coming to you, and visualize how it's coming.
So I love this juicy conversation. It's quite delicious. It's true, pride does get in the way sometimes, according to Shanella, but you just need to push through and do these first three secrets and make it no more secret. Tell everybody they need to get clear, they need to visualize and affirm, and they just need to do. I still practice these things because I run a business and it's easy to get stuck even though you're already on the journey. Constant coaching is very important, which is why Arlene is the coach of the moment. That if you need a coach, please reach out to her. The link for her book is in the chat. How to overcome fear, get unstuck, and live your best life. Arlene, are there last few words you'd like to share with?
The last thing that I want to say, thank you so much for allowing me to come on and share. I want to say the word is begin again. If you had started and you got stuck on the journey, on the way, begin again. The reason why I say there are no wrong actions or there are no mistakes is because you can always begin again. As long as you're alive, as long as you're here, you can begin again. It's not over till it's over. This is not the dress rehearsal. This is the game. This is it. So you want to live your best life, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, now. Okay? Begin again. if you haven't been true to yourself in moving forward with your goal, with visualizing where you truly want to be and where you truly want to go, and if you haven't decided where that place is, okay, begin again today. And I'd love to support you, as Angela said, www.askarleneshow.com. And I'd love to do a consult with you to be able to help you to get on that journey.
Awesomeness, awesomeness. We'll be doing these, a series of these over the next few months. So be sure to join, but definitely keep this in mind today. Get clear, visualize and affirm, and get you some momentum. If it costs you all you would have, get some momentum. Move. Thank you so much, Bisola, Genevieve, Magdi, Mary Beth, Patricia, Shanella. Thank you for joining us tonight. Your support is very much appreciated. Have a great one. Bye-bye.